All right, listen, we're live. Just watch what you're saying and what you're doing, okay? It was so enjoyable. It was so enjoyable last week, right, Mike?
Oh, it was amazing.
Did you guys like it?
I had to stop it
I loved it.
2 hours.
Nobody was muzzling me. This guy doesn't put the stop sign in front of my mouth all the time.
And all the comments were like, "This is incredible. This is the best thing since sliced bread."
People should comment below. Should we let Anto and Mike do another episode together? Or Pete, I have a day off. We'll take the day off. I have a good idea. Why don't we do it without them one time, and then we'll see, which is really good.
Go ahead. Knock yourself out. Actually,
but
we can start from today.
Big weekend again in Serie A. 4 teams within 3 points as Roma just ended. They won 1-0 against Como. They're looking like an Allegri team. It's amazing that this Gasperini, every game that he wins, it's 1-0. They find a way. I love what he said after the game as well, saying that just because you have talented players doesn't mean you're going to get the same spirit and the same attitude and availability that you're going to get with the group that he has. So it's really amazing to see what they're doing. We have to talk about Milan today because once again, they keep conceding goals and dropping points against the smaller team. Still have not been a newly promoted side in Serie A so far. 10 of your 13 goals conceded have come against the smaller teams and not in the big games. We have to talk about Inter, who they make it look too easy. They're the only ones this week, and Roma, that win in terms of the big teams fighting for the Scudetto. Juventus looked a little bit better this week under Spalletti. We'll get to that. And then Napoli. 1 week good, 1 week bad. 2 games in a row.
Back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back losses and back-to-back games without scoring a goal, Mike.
Crazy.
Where shall we start? Peter, I say we let Peter start. Since you guys had a lot of the floor last week.
That's fine.
We missed you. We missed you both.
Let's hear it.
Peter, where should we start today?
Let's start with Milan.
I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting
He's expecting me to react to that, but I don't.
Next week, the
You're
podcast
too smart for
just,
that.
Take a bait.
You're too smart.
raising our blood
You're too
pressure.
smart.
We don't take baits, Mike.
No one was going
Milan
for that joke.
Sassuolo
Okay.
2-2.
Mike, you liked this game, right? You said you were very impressed with Sassuolo.
I think it was overall, it was back and forth. There was a lot of chances, and I think both teams could have won. Overall, Bartesaghi, Star was born today. He looked good. He scored 2 goals, came from the Primavera. And also, a couple years ago, his father had an interview with Di Marzio saying that during the COVID lockdown, his father's a bricklayer. He made him... It wouldn't be a podcast without it.
Again, scam.
Scamacca.
Scamacca. Fucking scams.
So what I was saying, Bartesaghi's father is a bricklayer. It seems like a very common job in Serie A.
That's a good. That's a very honorable position. You need to be smart to be a bricklayer.
And during COVID lockdown, he made his son
laying bricks.
And that's
right.
why he's so strong. He's so physical.
He looks kind of
So
thin,
there we
though, no?
go.
No, it's not. It looks like a concrete block. The guy. It's very good.
He has big
He's
shoulders. He's
tall.
broad.
Well, listen, I know we're navigating away from Milan here, but I did love seeing Bartesaghi. His first goal for Milan, first goal in the Serie A, and then he did twice. He scored a brace. The fullback position for Italy, all of a sudden, looks really good. Maybe this is where we start. Bartesaghi on the left, 19 years old, and then Palestra, who played for Cagliari. Every game we're watching of Palestra, he's 20 years old. Yep. As a right back, he could even play right wing back. He loves to push up. He could play with both feet as well. Both of these players, they have to be called up for March for the World Cup qualification. Not to say that they're going to start, but at least bring them within the group and let's start seeing this transition. And my hope is maybe this past generation of Italian players has not been great that we've experienced, but I'm hoping that the next generation, there's a couple of youngsters coming through in Serie A and also abroad in other leagues that are starting to play really good football. And hopefully we get a coach that also matches that and an organization that allows them to flourish.
In March, we still have Gattuso. So don't
say going forward.
Forward.
I mean, it's not set in stone, buddy.
I don't know. Okay.
Did you see what Gravina said, by the way? You'll love this. Pete likes talking about this stuff. Gravina said, even if we go out of the World Cup. He's like, why should I resign?
Yeah.
How crazy
if
is
he
that?
doesn't resign, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Actually, I said on the last podcast, I'm gonna go with a one-way ticket. Just pointing to him. By the way,
Is that a threat?
I'll buy you the one.
You allowed that?
by the way,
One-way ticket.
by the
Don't
way,
come back.
let's talk about Milan because Mikey picked up on Bartesaghi. But the main thing that needs to be said that if AC Milan would have gone up the 3-1 because they took away a goal that was a spectacular goal, there was no foul. On Loftus-Cheek didn't even put the hands on the shoulder. Sure enough, they put another stupid rookie referees refereeing AC Milan against Sassuolo, and this cost us the game. Okay, he made a lot of. This referee is a mess. I mean, it's young. And he should not be allowed to coach an important game like that. Just put him coach somewhere else. But not the game that they can decide.
A lot of stupid mistakes.
You know, a lot of stupid mistake. And, you know, then after the fact that the stupid Rocky, the biggest, the chief of all the idiots,
Balboa.
it doesn't, you know, it said, after the fact. So bottom line is, here we are talking about AC Milan being penalized. Oh, it could have gone other way. I liked the tie because, you know, on the 2-2, they hit a cross. They hit the post, and it could have been even worse. Thanks to the referee. Because on a 3-1, this game was way over.
Why do you think Milan are struggling against the small teams? I read some of the numbers and some of the stats. Do you think it's a mental approach, or do you think it's more tactical because now they need to be the ones that have the football? They're the ones that need to progress it forward.
For sure, they have to be more offensive. The aggressors in the game, so that just leaves more space in the back. So defensively, you know, Milan and especially Allegri, why they're so solid is because they have that block, right, in front of Magnan, in front of the goalkeeper, and can look to counter. So when you don't necessarily have to do that for long periods of time and you're the one that's on the ball, you're also leaving yourself, vulnerable in the back to be able to allow a goal. Then also, I think now, especially, a lot of the smaller teams are not, they're not afraid anymore. They're not going to just sit back and play. They'll play the game. They'll see if they get some chances. And maybe it could be just, a slight, bit of, how can you say it? Like just not being fully concentrating. Maybe like for a big game, obviously everyone's zeroed in 100%. But in these smaller games, you might, make a couple mistakes. And then all of a sudden you find yourself tying Sassuolo.
I do think you're absolutely right. I think Milan, when they defend, it's because they defend in numbers, and they are all very organized in those bigger games. And then if you isolate them in 1v1, the Milan defenders are not the best defenders in the league. They're not very good 1v1. And Sassuolo, even against Inter, they weren't successful. They didn't get any points. But if you watch the way that Grosso wants his team to play, it's very simple tactics. It's nothing crazy. It's being organized defensively, and when you get the ball, it's spread it out wide to the wingers, get the ball as far as possible, sometimes even going long, isolate 1v1, and try to dribble your man. It's simple. I personally, if I was a coach, that's the exact style that I would want my teams to play.
They have 2-3 players that are capable.
They play with wingers. And in modern football, you have to play with wingers. So I like the way that Grosso sets his team up. It's not always successful, but they did have a couple chances with Inter because I would say Inter, similarly, if you isolate their guys 1v1, they're not the fastest. They're not the best on the ball. So that tactic, it works. And it worked against Milan. And I really like this Sassuolo side. Even without Berardi, they put Volpato, for example, instead. They always created their chances.
Grosso reminded me of this game specifically. Gave me the Zerbi flashbacks of how attacking and winger dependent it is, and that's what it came to be when Sassuolo. And there was like a gap where it wasn't really fitting that. And we're also mentioning Sassuolo as like at the time Atalanta 2.0 almost, because they played that kind of style. So I always promoted teams that play like that because it's more for the spectator, whatever. It might not be your traditional CALCIO where it's going for that 1-0 win or defensive. They play fun, and it's fun to watch them, So
it's good that
they keep this up. And without, their star player, they could have won this game.
It's good that they do have a DNA of like what kind of coach you want, like what's the protocol of a coach.
The philosophy.
For me, that's the thing that I want most of all, and that's why we'll get to Juventus and we could criticize Juventus, but they, for example, parallels. They don't have that. They switch between different philosophies, different coaches. Sassuolo's tried to keep that.
You also go to Sassuolo's ownership group. First off, the Squincy family. They're one of the richest in Italy with Mappei, construction industry, and Carnevale still stayed even in 1 year in Serie B. He's still there as a director, and even the players that they were able to maintain in a Serie B, they said, "Listen, we have to play at least that 1 year We're not gonna look to sell players for less than what their real value is, and we got to get back up to the Serie A, and that's what they did. So, and now they're performing. So you have that bit of stability. In a sense, they're also lucky because the pressure in terms of a Piazza is not as big as another place in Italy or a historic team in Italy, and they're able to do exactly what they want to do: play good football, make some transfers, and then look to find.
Let me pick up on what you said before, because it's very important. You were talking about before Bartesaghi and Palestra. You guys are probably too young to remember what Italy used to look like. We had Cabrini on the left hand side. Those were the winger, and the isolation to the one-on-one. Those were real winger. Never took the ball to the wing and then go backwards, passing the ball in the back. Those guys, they were forward-looking.
Direct.
CALCIO on the right-hand side. Cabrini was on the left-hand side. Even Donadoni from time to time, he played wing. We had nothing but spectacular.
Conte too, right? They used to say.
Totti?
Bruno
Conte.
My father used to say.
Another one.
Said he was very fast.
Oh, we had a lot of them. And every one of them, you will rarely see the ball coming down to the box and being passed backwards. Never. You go all the way down, you dribble the player, you get inside of the box, or you cross the ball into the box. That's why the centravanti puro, it was what Italy always had. We had Bettega, we had so many.
And now you're begging
Anto.
Chiesa.
And
to
now we're looking for Chiesa.
All right. We can't. Let's not rehash the same thing over and over and over again.
Okay.
I want to know, if Milan continue this, can they compete for the Scudetto? Because there are more smaller teams in the league than there are bigger teams, and it's kind of ironic that Inter have the opposite problem. But also because they don't have a center forward, and you're still waiting to find a center forward. There's rumors that Fulkrug could be the guy in January. Jimenez, we don't know if we're ever going to see Jimenez wear an AC Milan jersey again. Do you think you guys will compete for the Scudetto if you don't improve this going forward in the season?
We need more of a defender more than a forward. My take. I'll tell you the reasons why. The way we receive goal, we're just getting goal defensively. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. You're leaking goals.
It is embarrassing.
Both of the goals.
Tomori, to me, it's not AC Milan caliber. I don't care what everybody's saying to me. The guy is not an AC Milan caliber player. If I show you who was playing defense, maybe even 15 years ago, it's just this guy is embarrassing.
I don't think any of them are.
Well,
I really don't think I don't think Gabbia is that great.
Listen, Gabbia, it's not what those guys that I'm talking about it, but it's getting close. It's closer. It's discipline at least. Tomori, it's all over the place. It's scrappy. It's not technically prepared to be playing on that position, and he makes a lot of stupid mistakes.
I think Milan's problem is. I
don't think you're that more of a defender than a forward.
I don't think you're crazy
because
in saying that.
The forward line, we can score with so many different players, not necessarily that
the
the forward
midfielders.
is the answer.
It's also, I think, the cohesion and the leadership. I feel like you guys don't really have a leader in that that's orchestrating that defense to keep them in tune. And if you only
Magnan is supposed to be the leader.
Anto,
Magnan is supposed to be telling them where to be,
He's
and
talking about
what
defenders.
to do.
But Magnan's doing his job. The defenders aren't. The thing is, if you're finding it's easy to find motivation when you're playing the big guns. Your true champion, I think, comes out when you're playing the small teams, the ones you have to win. There's more smaller teams. So if Milan keep this up, mathematically, they're not winning the Scudetto.
But this is what Tomori felt all the time. Tomori, he always makes mistakes. It's either a penalty kick.
It's not just him, but
it is him. It's mostly him. Pavlovic, I think, from the beginning.
None of them are that great.
Pavlovic,
none of them are on their own are defenders that get you crazy excited. Have they done? They've done better than I expected up until this point. But I think, like I mentioned before, if they get isolated, that's the problem. So it'll be interesting to see. I still think Milan will go forward. We're going to talk also about the Supercoppa because they're going to play Napoli again. Two teams that are. It's hard to say the team that's going to show up all the time, at least with both of these sides. Maybe Milan more predictable, given what we said. Let's talk about Napoli. Because Napoli, I'm very disappointed. It's one of the, I feel like I'm saying this a lot with a lot of their games, one of the most disappointing that I've been in the performance against Udinese. Udinese is a team that was bleeding goals coming into this. Only 3 teams had a worse defensive record than them. They lost 4 out of the last 5. And yes, Udinese could be tricky. Udinese outmatched Napoli in every category. Every football
They should've
category
won by
that there is.
3-4 goals.
Physically, technically, tactically, the organization, everything.
The intensity was so much.
They were better than Napoli for 90. Napoli was lucky.
They didn't get a
Napoli
shot
was
on
lucky
target.
that the 2 goals were taken off. Yes, it was the right call, that the offsides, either way. But they were lucky to not be down by more.
All right, guys, we're taking a quick break from the show because we got to talk about the company that's supporting IFTV. We mentioned it before. We are partnering up with Lotto. Yes, the iconic Italian brand is sponsoring us until the end of the World Cup. This is absolutely insane to me. You know them for their epic jerseys, the sick cleats. They are pure football heritage. Mike, when I was a little boy, I remember always begging my father. I would show him pictures of the Lotto gear and say, please, please buy me. We used to have a soccer.com magazine. Shout out to anyone that remembers the magazine we get in the mail. And I remember there was this one image of Luca Toni promoting Lotto, and he had like these zero gravity laceless boots. They were like the coolest things in the world. I would put it on my Christmas list every year, just begging to get them because they were so iconic.
Yeah, now I'm sure your dad's begging you if they have their size.
You know
now.
what? That's a good point. I'm not going to give them them.
And now you know what we can tell
I'm
them?
going to make them beg.
We'll tell them to go to the local Dick's Sporting Goods store and they'll have it. And if you don't have a local Dick's Sporting Goods store, there's always online.
Everybody's got a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Of course, I know.
Online
But if
is
you
easy.
want to check it online, whatever, we have the link in the description.
Yes.
And we also have their Instagram handle in the description.
Lotto
Go
Sport
check
US.
them out. A lot of great stuff. We're going to do a lot of great stuff
They
with
have
them
so many
this
new
season.
releases as well. So if you follow them on Instagram, you get the latest. This jersey was one of them that they released. New York, of course, we always got to rep. Truly a dream partnership
Legendary
for us.
partnership.
Can't believe that this is real. Go support them. Let them know that IFTV sent you to their page. Now, let's get back to the show.
The thing is, the first goal, okay, wake up call and they conceded, take it away. Second one, wake up call. It kept happening, and it was only and by the way, that goal, oh my god,
Kellenkamp.
oh my, I think that was the second goal against Napoli, but it was crazy. And Udine were dancing around like.
Zaniolo had a field day.
Napoli's defense was just like it was like the Roadrunner and the Coyote, just like running circles around them. It just looked like, okay, Udine's gonna get another one. It was crazy. Savic tried his best. There's only so much he could do, but they didn't
too.
look. Yeah, I get it.
Vanya.
But
Vanya has highs, but then he also has lows.
the thing with Napoli is now what is it? Back to back, they got the European loss. Benfica. Then now this one, and it's also like, what's Conte's angle now? Is it the injuries? Is it he's waiting for January? Is it finding the motivation? It's tough to say now because they were completely outplayed.
You know what I think is happening right now? It's not happening to Napoli only. It's happening to team like
Milan.
No. Napoli is being picked off. They study Napoli style, and they realize it that if you let Conte do that, and they did it to Como too. Como is the second time that they're slapping around. If you give them a little space to think about it, they're gonna take the game to you and they're gonna suffocate you. But look what they've been doing lately to the Napoli and to the Como. Como was embarrassed by Roma today, but they were embarrassed by Inter the last time. What's his name? Kivu. He packed 5 people on the box where they were trying to come out of the box, the people from Como. And that's what they did today. What's his name? Gasperini, he always had 4 or 5 midfielders while Como was trying to come out of the box. They read the philosophy and they said, we're not going to let you play. We're going to come at you and we're going to just we're going to struggle. You're building up from the back. And that's what is happening. This is a way of people watching the game, watching the video and making the adjustment, because now it's a fair game for everybody. Look the way AC Milan, for example, they were harassed by with a long ball with Sassuolo. A long ball, you isolate it 1-to-1, anything can happen. Sure enough, you find yourself in the position to take shots with the post and to do a lot of damage.
Every game is different. I mean, tactically, you're gonna have a.
But that's what you have to be able to change.
Yeah,
Pete.
you have to make adjustments.
Yeah.
But then the same way you can say about Napoli, Inter. Napoli went on to win 3-1.
Yeah.
Like these games are all a chess match, but at the same time, depends on the players that you have at your disposal, and then also depending on what your game plan is, and you know, believing in it or not, or making the adjustment on the fly. And that's where a good coach is made, is being able to read a game and say, okay, what.
But you cannot be
I think-
stuck on the
I
same
think- I
module,
think
a
Napoli-
4-2-3-1 or
I
a 3-5-2.
That's completely irrelevant to Napoli. That's completely irrelevant because Conte has changed, right? He's gone to 3-4-3. So that's what I'm saying. It's deeper for me than just this. I think Napoli's issue is, yes, it's definitely the injuries that you said, because he's got Elmas playing in front of the defense, and Scott McTominay's position changes in a 2 than he does with the 3. But for me, it's how do Napoli win their games? Napoli win their games with energy, with intensity, with emotions. They outwork you in every level when they win their games, like when they win against Inter. But to keep doing that every few days, to do that against Inter, and then a couple days later try to do that against Benfica, and then a couple days later try to do that against Udinese, that's where it starts to become tough. So they're not able to win games just because they're good with the ball. They have to win games by using all this energy, and it's hard to do that every single week
get
when you're
burned
adding
out.
in these new matches, and then we have
that's been
Supercoppa.
That's been Conte's
Style.
kryptonite for the longest time. Champions League, he's not able to get the same amount of energy, and then it also takes away energy from a Serie A. So that's why for all the years that he's coached, he's always been a league manager and not a Champions
He's
League.
never
because not
adapted.
able to
But now even in the league, they're a team that they have 4 losses in Serie A, right? Usually a team that has 4 losses in Serie A, we don't keep talking about as winning a Scudetto.
No.
They have
But
3
Inter
losses.
has 4 losses as
They
well.
have 3 losses in Champions League. All 7 of these games have come away from home. All 7 of their losses away from home. That's a scary number. And yes, I think their season could change when Lukaku comes back. That'll be a big difference. Yeah. He's expected to be called up, to be on the bench. But now they're reliant on... I was thinking Scott McTominay went down for a second. I don't know if you guys saw. And I said, if Scott McTominay goes down injured, guys, it's over. He's the guy that usually saves them. He's the guy that's got the character to score. Even Højlund. I mean, Højlund, he drives me crazy. He drives me crazy that... Okay, he could score a brace, but he doesn't do enough in a match. And then even Lorenzo Luca. Lorenzo Luca is a player that you brought in for such a big amount of money. He's not even playing a lot. I mean, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch Napoli when they play like this.
We also talk about how, listen, Conte, he stayed at a club for more than a season a few times, right? Could we say that maybe the repetition of the players, it's hard to bring that motivation week in and week out?
But usually second year, you still have that effect because he won with Inter. Second year, they beat Juventus when they had Cristiano Ronaldo. Second year for Juventus, he had to balance between Champions League. And they won, I think, was that the year that they broke the record? It might have been the year they broke the record. So usually second season, at least in Serie A, he's always been good. Yeah. So it's weird now. Like, the timing is interesting to me.
That was back then.
I'm sure he has more injuries than the previous ones too, right?
Yeah,
so it's
but
definitely more than one
injuries
factor.
and also a lot of changes.
Even the game has changed. The game has evolved. It has evolved in a way.
His European record stayed
The
down.
game has evolved, Mike. Back then, the small team, they used to just park themselves on the back.
Now
and
they
then
attack you.
Now they're coming at you. They harass you. They put you that fear. And they do it even on your own home. They don't have to be necessarily playing
disrespectful.
Yeah, they just coming at you like
makes good games. It's
Yes,
very hard to
for the spectators. Much more fun.
every week in Serie A, I say they should win, but this team could be tricky on their day. Udinese, they will lose to Genoa. They beat Inter, they beat Atalanta, and now they beat Napoli.
That's right.
They're also dealing with injuries. Atta, who's my favorite player on Udinese, he's a guy that was not even there. So fair play to them.
And they lost one of their franchise player before the beginning of the season. He went back to play in France. What's his name?
Thauvin.
Thauvin. That was one of my favorite.
He's
players.
doing.
I would have taken on AC Milan that guy on a heartbeat.
He's
got quality.
Very technical player.
All over the
they lost
places.
a lot of pieces.
Luka, the 9.
Yeah. No. They lost a lot of pieces. Let's switch to. Should we do Juventus?
Sure.
Let's do Juve. I actually will say, for the first time under Luciano Spalletti, they played 2 halves. They played a full match. It was good to see the way that they approached the match in this way, because coming off of Napoli and coming off of Pafos, I was disgusted by the performances, especially the Napoli game. The way that they were at 1-1 and then didn't want to keep pushing, and the way that they don't connect passes. Against Bologna, who at home had only lost 1 game, Bologna is a very tough team. I thought Bologna underperformed big time in this match. Big time. They didn't bring what they usually bring. But Juventus, they were taking more risks with the passes. It was more balls that would break the line, a lot less side to side. Each player, I think, was doing their job a lot better. Kenan Yildiz is still the standout. Every time you watch him, he's always going for the right move. He's always going for the risky pass. He's the guy that anything great will come through him. I thought Jonathan David, again, doesn't give me a lot of confidence in what he's supposed to do. But I will say, for the first time, a 90-minute performance from Juventus. And to win away from Bologna is the thing that a lot of teams struggle to do. But we need to see this consistency. They still have tough games that are coming up before January. I think they still have Roma to play, which is going to be a good test to see where their level will be.
Yeah, I thought this was a big one because the Champions League, that win was a little gritty at first, in the first half. But now with this game, I did feel like Bologna definitely underperformed. But Spalletti's got to use this cushion, this 2-game win streak, as a motivator for the rest, because his previous games with the Juventus tenure wasn't very convincing. So now if he gets getting a win against Bologna and Champions League win, and I wonder if he can build from this. That's my real question. Is this something, or is this another one of those bluffs saying like, okay,
Too soon to tell.
That's what I'm saying. So
Cabal gave an interview where he said that where he's brought a lot of faith to the team, and he said something interesting. He said we would die for Spalletti, that they got a buy-in. So I think there is more buy-in than under Tudor, but I agree with Mike. I think it's still too short of a sample size to say.
And Cabal, really quickly, he switched jerseys with Bernardeschi. He said he's a Juventus legend, which was pretty cool.
Listen,
Bernardeschi went over to the Juventus fans after the match as well.
Here's what I see it. Juventus, they needed a little luck. They got the luck, and they were able to score on that.
They deserve to win, though.
Well,
yeah,
you don't think?
They're the better team.
I will say if the game will have that tie,
no one would complain.
Nobody would be complaining. I'll tell you this.
I know him.
I thought Juve were better.
Bologna had their chances too.
No, Juve were better.
I was let down by Bologna.
They didn't do anything.
I was let down though. Maybe I'm holding Bologna to a high.
You know why?
No,
you know what happened?
level.
You know what happened? Italiano, your favorite coach, both of you, do you think he's going to be coaching a big team? He got picked off too. He got
one
picked
game.
off.
I thought you just said he could have tied the
And
game.
he got a red card.
Yes, I said, but Juventus.
And they got a red card.
Juventus dared to challenge them
Yeah.
at their own game. That's why the pressure was they were pressing them on their field, on their midfield, which I never see Juventus doing that. So finally, this guy here, the mortuary guy, the bald guy, he read the game and he said, "Hey, let's put some pressure on them." And then I think he did a good job.
He did a good job.
Me, I'm not a big fan of Spalletti because I never liked
You'll have a
his
beer with
style.
him
I
now.
will have 10 beers with him, but he was smart. He was smart to take the game to Italiano, and I said, "Challenge me. I'm gonna just take it all the way." And they did it for 90 minutes for the first time.
What'd you see?
Oh, Spalletti's a good coach. No matter you like him, don't like him, you go for beer, you go for
I'll go for
wine.
10 beers. 10 beers. I don't
You're
like
an
his
alcoholic,
style,
Anto.
but I'll go for 10 beers with the guy.
He's a good coach. So I think in this case we're gonna see something. This
I think
Juventus,
I can
I've always
drink
said that
beers,
he's
man.
gonna. I'm not saying he's gonna win the Scudetto, but he's gonna keep Juventus in a position to be right there.
And if
right?
that's a Napoli tattoo,
and-
if not.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
if
this
there
is
is ever a year that the smaller team, not smaller team, but a team that didn't start off so hot can go on and win, this is the year because there's no.
You're still keeping Juventus in the
I
race?
still keep Juventus.
Really? I
Yeah,
don't.
No, I still do.
What'd you just-
The camera is not on me.
The amount of crumbs this guy produces.
I'm not putting them there.
I think they still stay up there just because they're right there for the
Taking.
taking, and there's going to be a lot of movement between injuries, between other competitions. Like you said, nobody's ever won a Scudetto with 4 losses or whatever the case might be, and that maybe not.
I'm just saying
ever, but
usually,
don't win. I think a team with 4 losses or 5 losses are gonna is gonna win the Scudetto. So it's gonna be a very different year than what we're used to. And Spalletti, again, the players are there. It's just a matter of getting them to all work. And guess what? If they win 1-0, okay, it might not be convincing, but at this very moment in the Juventus situation, it's like we just need stability.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. So if you win 1-0, you're winning. That's all that counts.
I want to talk about Bologna real quick. I want to talk about Bologna because I was disappointed. I'm a huge Italiano fan, and it doesn't change after one loss. The ups and downs happen. I think it's also a team that's learning a new reality, which the new reality is competing in. They did Coppa Italia, they did Europa League, where they beat Celta Vigo. Celta Vigo just beat Real Madrid, by the way, at the Bernabeu, and they had a fantastic win. Celta Vigo, I think no Italian team had ever beaten Celta Vigo in Spain. I think Juventus played against them. They weren't able to do it. And, you have to listen also to the press conferences and what he says. And Italiano said, for example, Santiago Castro, he's not a player that's able to do playing against Celta Vigo, playing 90 minutes, and then coming back, arriving at 5 a.m., and then playing again. And then the game plan changed when they went down to 10 men. He had an idea of putting Immobile and Santi together, and it didn't work out, and the game plan didn't go. But I do think that they played below their level. They played below their usual intensity. That could happen.
Sure.
But I do admire him. Criticism to another coach that I love, Antonio Conte. I say it all the time. For me, one of my favorite coaches of all time. My praise to Italiano is that he at least competes on every competition. He doesn't look at Europa League and say, we can't do this, let's focus on Serie A. Italiano's trying to manage. And I bet you, even with the Supercoppa coming up in Saudi Arabia, which they have to play against Inter on Friday, Milan will play Napoli on Thursday, he's going to try to compete in that as well. And that's the thing that I like about his attitude, is that even if he has, compared to most of the teams, the smallest roster, which I think if you look at the bench, by the way, they have a very good squad, but in terms of how much they spend, it's not as much. He always tries to compete. So that's the thing I'll praise him for. Let's move on. Let's talk about Fiorentina.
By the way, they lost back-to-back game in Serie A, Cremonese, and
You're right. Let's talk about a team.
He does all the research for his haters.
Let's talk about a team that cannot get a win.
Oh, God,
Milan?
please.
Oh, we
no,
talked about
no,
that.
no.
Let's talk about Fiorentina.
Oh, that's so painful.
no.
Please.
Guys, Fiorentina, I'm going to tell you a crazy stat. Fiorentina are in 20th place. They have 0 wins after 15 matches, the worst record ever in the history of Fiorentina. 1 year ago to this day, they were tied first place, and now they sit in last place. And it's the first time I am sitting here saying they really could be relegated. I kept saying it'll change. They have a great roster. They got a new coach. Give it time. I am scared that Fiorentina will be relegated.
It's easy to fall in that snowball effect if you don't win the next one. Then there's pressure. Oh, we got to hurry up and get out of the relegation show. Oh, a draw. Another loss, a draw. And from there, every game just feels like it's predetermined almost. And I feel like these players, yes, they're big names, but they're not names to fight and salvage and stay out of a relegation race. They're not players. They're not a coach that are ready for this. This Fiorentina team is a coach made of players that would fight, should be fighting for a European spot. They're not fit to fight to try to salvage themselves from Serie A. So I think there is a lot of factors with all this, and the mix of if they're going to stick with the coach, the mix with the fans, the mix with all these results, I think. And I also just think that it's also a kind of a fluke. Marco mentioned that first time ever in their history. And we all know in Serie A how, in Italy in general, how cutthroat everything is. You do good, okay, pat on the back, next one. If you do bad, oh my God, everyone's on top of you.
But Mike, who's in front of the camera? Nobody. They said silenzio stampa. Joe will be the guy in front of the camera. Rocco will be in front of the camera. The coach will be in front of the camera. Nobody. Adesso c'è il silenzio stampa. You know what silenzio stampa means? Do not talk to the media.
Okay,
so what I'm trying to say is, who's the leader? Who's the captain of the boat? Where is the boat? The boat is going all over the place. They don't know which direction. They don't even know where the port is. There is a light over there. You have to look at the light and say, hey, we're going to get to that direction. Who's the leader? There's no leadership at any level. All right,
now let's analyze what happened on the pitch, where you lose to a Verona side that it's only their second win. I think that this team is mentally weak and can't deal with the pressure of the situation that they're in. Because to have wins in the Conference League and none in Serie A, it's not a display of who's on the field for Fiorentina. This team is worst case scenario, top half of the middle of the pack. Worst case scenario. I agree. There's no leaders. I'm not going to disagree with that, but it's a mental problem with this team. And they brought in Vanoli. I don't discredit Vanoli. I think that he's a capable coach. Maybe not for this situation. He has repeatedly said, I need men. I don't need players, which talks to the character issue. I think it's very frustrating for the fans because they made a pact with Edin Dzeko just a few weeks ago where Dzeko said, oh, we're going to fight. We're going to fight. You got to support us. The fans supported. The fans have shown up. The players have not. It's a bad cycle.
The biggest thing is that those are 2 losses now versus people that you're going to compete with head to head to stay up, between a Sassuolo and then a Hellas Verona. If anything, these points, I know we've always say every game is only 3 points, but in a certain way, they're more than 3 points, because at the end of the day, if it comes to the last day,
You're taking their
lost
points
that
away.
game, you just took it away. So, to bring, back to Antonio's point about Joe Barone, we know what Joe was for Fiorentina, for Rocco, and, in terms of being a leader. And even when things weren't always rosy, he had to show his face, and that's ultimately what you need when it comes to leadership, where someone's going to show up and say, hey, this is how things are going to be, and we're going to get through this, and whatever the case might be. So, and in Italy especially, the culture is that you want somebody from management being very close in the city. What I would say also, there's a little foreshadowing here. Last year, Palladino, right, who was an up-and-coming coach, decided to leave, rescind. Who knows why exactly, but it seems like there's a lot more to the story than maybe what we really know or what's out there. And we all thought, oh, maybe it's because he has another job lining up or whatever. No, it wasn't the case. So you get rid of a coach that was up and coming. There was a lot of changes in players, and again, it's not to say that the players that are currently on this team are not good. They should be players that can compete for Europa League, Conference League, but it was just a poorly run operation from the start of the season to now, and ultimately there's someone has to take a responsibility. Pioli was the first one to go. Brade also rescinded, and we'll see if there's anybody next. But it's at this point you can't blame anybody anymore. There's no fingers to pointing at, because you either stay up or you're going to Serie B, and every project that you have in mind gets thrown out for at least a year. And that Serie B is not a league where you say, okay, we're just going to come right back up.
And it would be their 100th anniversary. So it's almost a perfect storm. More than anyone, I'm very interested to get Peter's perspective, because you understand the backside, the back end more than we do. It's not there.
What's going on? I missed it. Did I miss anything over here?
Sorry. Pause. You understand
Is this going to be
top level management? I'll leave it at.
Okay.
You understand the top level management?
Pete's secret released.
Oh boy. This is going to get caught.
You understand the top level management more than most of us. What would you do in this situation? Would you get? There was reports that Ballardini was there in the stands, whether it was for Verona, whether it was for Fiorentina. They still don't have a real direttore sportivo, as he mentioned. There's talks about Giuntoli. There's talks about who else? Sabatini. I saw. What would you do immediately? And do you think they can find the path to salvation?
Before you say that, I just want to say the reports are saying they're going to keep Vanoli up until their next Conference League game, and they're going to decide from there.
Throw the Conference League, by the way.
What's up?
I would throw the Conference League.
Yeah.
I would throw it. Throw it. Throw it.
There's the only time you're winning.
Get rid of it. No, it's fine. Use all your energy in Serie A.
Funny that you were the only one saying that Fiorentina could win the Conference League, and all of a sudden you want to throw it away.
You expected
Do you
it.
see the
podcast ago,
situation?
you were always saying,
Do you see the
Crisis.
situation?
we have a
Do you
lock.
see
We have
this
a lock
something?
there. Yeah.
Do you see the situation
No
that
one
they're in?
expected the Santo.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it could be just some sort of just a relieve the
waste of
pressure.
energy,
You
waste
keep
of energy.
playing. It's
At
a
this
waste of
point-
They're
energy.
going to go
At
to the
this
next round, though. They have a
At
good
this
chance
point,
to go to the next round.
no problem.
They'll probably go to the next round, but ultimately, just put your bench players there. Have it as a way to bring in some Primavera guys, or whatever. No, you have the list, so you can't even do that. But to have the bench players play and just finish it out, and that's
Full
it.
preparation on Serie A.
Like everything has to be Serie A, because if you go down to Serie B and you could be the Conference League winners,
It doesn't matter.
Playing in Europa League.
it's not going to be good. And
So what would you do?
Well, I mean, it starts from, understanding that, sure, we can be Fiorentina, but right now, we have to get rid of all the brand, all your history, everything, because you're 20th place in Serie A. So you have to act as if you are the bottom dweller, which you are, and have to claw and scratch and try to get every point that you can. So that's the style of play. There's no more we're going to play this style of play. We're going to play defend, counter, and that's it. Get every draw possible, every win possible. I don't care how you're scoring. That's what you have to do.
Going to the transfer market,
going
you're
into
saying
the trenches.
Are you implying that they're going to go?
That's one part.
Okay.
Going into the trenches. Now, in terms of a sporting director, yes, you need someone that's going to come in and prepare this January market. You have nobody with experience to be able to prepare a January market. Giuntoli, obviously, I know with Juventus didn't have a great run of things. Is he the right guy? Not sure. But I do like a Sabatini.
I agree.
Sabatini also with Salernitana did really well. Miracle. They also hired Davide Nicola that season. Found Ederson in January. So maybe you can find some guys, but really just trying to plug in some of these holes, get some of these guys that can maybe help this team stay up in some way.
There's a really good documentary. You can find it on YouTube somewhere. When Sabatini got the Salernitana saved, and they were in a situation where I believe it was famous. They said they had a 3% chance of staying saved, and there's a video of him literally calling a player and saying, "Do not come here unless you're ready to die." Unless you're ready to spit blood, unless you're going to go toe-to-toe. I don't want to hear about your agent. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about that. You got to... It's amazing to see him on the phone. He's on the phone saying this. I want to speak directly to him. You need a guy like that. Yeah. You need a guy who's been there.
Was that the year that Ribéry was still in Salerno? Ribéry?
I'm confused.
Yes, he was.
I'm confused with my years. I think it was when Davide
Ribéry
Nicola
was there, right?
came on. But I think at this point, I thought the situation would have been okay. Up until now, yes, a couple weeks ago, I was saying I thought they would be getting wins. I really did.
They got a couple of wins now. You're looking at a much better, place. Right
but at
now.
this point,
the fact that you haven't won a game.
Yeah,
Peter said it well. This is full panic mode. Forget style. Forget next year. Forget project. It is all thought on not going to Serie B because, as you rightfully said, I'm looking at teams like Cagliari. I'm looking at teams like Sassuolo, Cremonese. They are too good to start saying, they're going to be down at the bottom. No. Those teams are too good for you.
Parma,
the reality is these teams, they're all fighting tooth and nail. So, you need to join in that pack. And you're starting already from 8 points away. That's the thing. It's an 8-point gap from the fourth to last.
8 points.
That's a lot in this stage. You really have to expect to win. Start winning a lot of games.
It's a lot.
I still believe that I can do it.
I think they can based on the players that they have, but it's not easy. And just before you
2 defenders at least, very good defenders.
What I would say also is, I think there needs to be a statement made with leadership. Rocco has to get rid of whoever's there, because you have to also show an example to the players that this is not acceptable. You have to show.
Prade was not enough?
No. Fuori tutti.
Okay.
What's his left to begin with?
Next 3 games.
I might get this out.
Next 3 games: Udinese, Parma, Cremonese. How many points?
They're
you need?
winnable.
Udinese is tough.
They're winnable. Fiorentina can win it if you they're winnable.
Listen, how many points you get? How many do you predict? How many
Okay,
points?
I will say with a little bit of luck, I will say I'll take 6 out of 9.
Wait, if no wins, they're gonna get 2 wins out of thin air.
2 out of 3. You lose 1 and you win 2.
Me hopeful is saying 3 points.
I'll say
Do you
6.
keep Vanoli if you get 3 points from those 3 matches, or is that enough?
No, I'm with Peter.
Listen, I think if you could
6
get
points.
4 points,
4 points would be good.
4
points is good.
I think they have the potential to get 6 points.
Yes.
But
What you win?
but they also have
6 points.
They also have the potential, the way that they're playing, to get 0. So
Okay, so if they get under 4 points, sack Vanoli. If they get 4 points and over, keep Vanoli.
the thing is, you have to have guys ready to go. But yeah, I would say Vanoli, if he doesn't get 4 points,
4 points from those 3.
Pepe Iacchini is going to be
He
hired.
said yes, like he just won a
Pepe Iacchini is
I want Fiorentina to do
But what
well.
is Peter saying? It doesn't become a reality. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like-
Peter, one of those rare times that he kind of not really agrees with
Oh,
me.
that's
That
why,
he's
'cause he
actually
agreed
almost
with you.
thinking
You
like
didn't really
me.
agree with him.
Yeah.
You just said 6
saying
points and he
it's-
said 6 points.
I think 6
Yes.
points.
Yes.
No, those are three
That was
teams.
hilarious.
Those are scrappy teams that you can just fight them on the
Yikes.
mud. You can
Udine
just
almost beat Napoli 4-0.
you can get down, Mike. You can get down on the mud and just fight. Sometimes you can get lucky, and then you end up
they
getting
don't do
given
it.
9 points.
I mean, to be fair, Fiorentina were very unlucky.
another cookie.
One bite, make sure no crumbs. There's still crumbs all over. Fiorentina were very unlucky. They should have scored a few
It's
goals.
crazy that Moise Kean, every time I'm watching him miss chances, I'm like, last year you put that
He
in.
wins every
crazy.
long ball he wins,
It's
but he
crazy.
doesn't finish them.
Peter, let's talk about Inter. Your game against Genoa. Very root. I think you guys made it a little bit more complicated than it needed to be. I thought it was very routine. I said, all right, Genoa, they had this anthem in the beginning. They had My Way from Frank Sinatra being played before the match. 110th anniversary of him. We're reading that his mother is from Genoa, the origins. They did this show. De Rossi has done pretty well. Okay, of course, to go up against Inter is not easy, but I was very disappointed with the way Genoa started the match. But then, in the end, they get the goal, and they came to
woke
life
up,
a little
yeah.
bit, and they woke up. But what was your takeaway from the match? Because it's still Inter getting the job done.
No, Inter getting the job done. Obviously, you're up 2-0. You have to try to manage this game a lot better. They get this goal, which just this is the way it's been for this year, where we look out of play, like we give up these stupid goals, and it's crazy. And even Akanji coming from a Premier League, like, I want you to be this animal and win that ball, not like Ekuban, body you to not receive a ball. So just like a lot of these things, and even Sommer coming out, but I mean, not to blame Sommer, but it could have been a lot easier to get into this game, late in the stage and stay up 2-0. But with that, all being said, I think this team shows also that we're able to score goals in different ways. Like, you see Lautaro, the way that he scores, the guy's smart. He always gives that little bump and able to find a little bit of space and be able to score goals. So it's like just on that borderline of being a foul potentially. And yeah, I think even with Pio Esposito, it's a even if he doesn't score, he's trying different things. I think even his hold-up play is, it needs more work.
I didn't think
for
he was
sure.
great.
No, but the thing is, how are you judging him? That's the thing. You have to judge him also.
I thought he would have been more impactful
for his age and the player that he is.
Okay.
Listen, even in the shot by Lautaro, I mean, he's the one that's giving the dummy. When he's laying off, when Lautaro hits it across, he's the one that lays it off to Lautaro. So, it is influential in how the game is. I mean, that's how I would see it. Sure, I want more, and he needs to work more. But he's trying these different things that an average 9 wouldn't.
I see a big limitation of Inter not going down the right side without Dumfries. Without everything is to the left. They're really missing Dumfries, and I don't know what the situation's going to be like with Dumfries, because with the injury and
January, baby.
January
It might
coming
be
up.
gone. It might be gone.
I don't know, but I see this could be a problem for Inter. And I noticed it. I noticed it. Not just in this match.
Oh, yeah.
It's a few games. I think in the Champions League against Liverpool, you could see how many times they were reliant to go the opposite way and to not have confidence on their right side. Luis Enrique did well against Como, but to put in the performances consistently, I think is difficult.
The thing is, Enrique, is more technical, let's say, than Dumfries, but Dumfries has that ability to get down. And also, he's been playing in this system that he knows that ball is going to switch to him, and he's going to be that guy to verticalize the
He's got more courage,
and be able
too.
to go after and put in a cross. So that's something that we've kind of lacked, with Enrique. He's looking more so to tiptoe his way into the box or make the nice little pass. Instead, we need somebody that's a bull that goes in and hits that ball.
Kind of like what Anto said before, like one of those players that gets the ball and he wants to give it back. Like he doesn't want to make a mistake.
Yep. And so we've been kind of confused in who to replace Dumfries. I mean, in games we had Carlos Augusto, I think versus Milan, also playing on the right side, cutting with left. He couldn't cross the ball with his right. Diouf now also has come in, had some sparks, but
What about Bisek?
we got to see.
Bisek did it for a while.
Yeah, but
You remember?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not against it. The thing is, we need to find a substitute for Dumfries, because if he's on the transfer market or
Bring
even
Di
if he
Lorenzo.
leaves,
He's very
we need
versatile.
somebody that come in.
Right?
I don't know if Conte's gonna let him
listen,
go though.
Palestra, I would take Palestra.
40.
I
nice.
mean, you make
Palestra.
Yes,
You're
you
saying-
would take Palestra.
You're saying like
He
you're doing
seems-
him a favor,
Yeah,
but
right.
buddy.
You know how many teams
I mean,
that
he
want
will come to-
Palestra?
I wonder what Cagliari have to say about that.
But
But you
P,
don't need him.
No, we do.
they need a lot more than Palestra. But P, I just want to say this 3 points matters more because it's coming after a Milan and Napoli dropping points.
Yeah.
So you can talk about nitpicking all this stuff, but then you have a draw and a loss, and you're right there now
said
by
it.
yourself.
It's gonna be a long season. This is not a season that we're used to
The
seeing.
politics,
There's a
baby.
lot of no, but the truth is, we're 1 point ahead. It's not like we're 5 points ahead and we're gonna drop the Scudetto. Like,
Little by little.
all these teams, they're
You
gonna
eat
drop
away.
points up and down. It's just the way the season is going.
I'm really interested to see what happens this week in the Supercoppa with the There's two semifinals, one game each. We said it before: Napoli against Milan, and then Inter against Bologna. It's one of those times that I really don't know where I would put my money because Milan, their approach against Napoli in the first match, I said if Milan played that game 10 times against Napoli, Milan will win all 10 times, right?
But then against Lazio too, their Coppa Italia the week before.
Yeah, but I'm saying tactically, the way that Milan play against Napoli, it hurts Napoli for their deficiencies, and it highlights the qualities that Milan have for the way that they want to play. You give Napoli the ball, which especially in this moment they're not good with it. I don't know how Napoli could win, but then it's always Napoli and it's Conte, and he could find a way. And then even Bologna is a team that won the Coppa Italia, beating these sides, and they have courage. And Inter, can they manage again with these problems? So it's really up in the air. I don't know where my money would be. Where do you guys see it? Who do you predict gets to the final and then wins it?
I think AC Milan can take it.
I didn't expect
Wouldn't
that.
have guessed.
Oh.
I think AC Milan can take
That's
it
a
just for
hot
the
take.
same reasons that you just said it, that AC Milan is got a better approach when we're going to be facing Napoli. I mean, can he go the other way? Sure he can, but I would say 75-25 AC Milan.
Would you rather
against Napoli?
Would you rather the final Bologna, who beat you in the Coppa Italia final, or Inter, who
I
you
like to
beat
take
last year?
Inter.
Do a repeat
Yes.
in Riyadh.
Yes.
Win the Supercoppa final
Yes.
twice
Yes.
in a row.
Yes, Inter.
Makes sense.
No, I mean, not that because I want Inter to beat Bologna, because you know the way I feel about Inter. But
Thanks for giving both sides.
actually, for me, at this point, I take it back. Check that.
Oh, boy.
Either or, because I want to get a revenge against Italiano, because that Coppa Italia is still hurting us. So either Inter or Bologna doesn't really make much of a difference. But it'd be nice if we can get another win against Inter, because, you know,
You give every facet of your
you just
opinion.
won a little bit more soul.
But you'd still take it if you have to play Bologna.
Yeah, I'll take
Still
it.
take
Yeah.
it. Mike, who do
I
you
think
favor?
I'm going to go with Bologna. You
think they'll win it?
I think, yeah,
Make your
Italiano.
case.
What's up?
Make your case.
I think this is one. Okay, so the smaller teams really got to fight for. You don't know whether he's going to have silverware. This is probably their only real chance of getting something. And you're right there. It's possible. He's done in the past. He's won these smaller, less game tournaments before. So he's definitely there. He knows how to motivate in these one-off matches. So I think everyone else has more to lose than Bologna over here. Bologna is playing with house money. They're the smaller of the teams. And I also think they're the most vicious. And when they need to play, when we've seen them play, they ball out. So I wouldn't think it's crazy if Bologna win. I'm going for them.
I think the best argument for Bologna is they played, if you remember, Fiorentina played Inter in the Coppa Italia final. And what I learned in the final that Vincenzo Italiano lost 3 finals. And I really saw him learn in the 4th final against Milan, where they were up 1-0. And in the past, when he played against West Ham, he played such a high line, and then they conceded in the 86th minute or whatever it was. This was the first time. And I spoke to even Bukama after the match, and he said, we put on an extra defender to hold the lead. So he learned in his final. So I'd be interested to see their approach on Friday when he does play against Inter. Different coach, of course, different team. But I want to see if he had learned from his approach. He proved it in the past, in the last final, which was the first time that Bologna had won in 49 years, 50 years, whatever it was. I'm really struggling. If I had to choose, I would say Inter, just because I feel like for Kivu, it could be a really good first way to win and prove everybody right. I think Inter is more advanced right now in this moment compared to the other teams. But I could make an argument for every single squad, but I would lean towards Inter.
Excuse me,
in
those
this
two
moment.
semis, before you go ahead,
Excuse
Pete, those two semis, you're going to have to go to overtime and penalty, or just straight to penalty after the 90 minutes?
I'm not positive. I believe it goes straight to penalties. In the final last year, it would have went straight to penalty. So I'm assuming they kept the same format.
Okay.
But I haven't done my research
Also,
yet.
how you mentioned Kivu, he does have a lot of proof because he also said after the win, post-match, he said 5 months ago you guys had us in 8th place, and now we're just fighting. So it seems like he has some venom.
Maybe he watches the podcast.
I didn't put
Maybe
it
he
on
has
eight.
some venom, so maybe he
Oh,
has
you had him
something
at
to
4th.
show.
Fifth.
Fifth,
close.
not
We're
too
close.
out of Champions League.
Who do you favor? Where are you leaning?
I'm gonna favor Milan. Allegri, the
Thanks.
guy,
The politics, baby.
he knows
That's
how to
smart.
win 1-0. he's gonna be able to sit back and counter. But what I would also say is for Inter, I know we're saying, Kivu can prove people wrong, but I think he has to prove people. He has to prove himself.
Right? Yeah.
Because ultimately, every head-to-head so far has been a failure. Between Juventus, Milan, Liverpool, Atletico Madrid, any tough game, he's lost. So not even tied, lost. So
You haven't tied a game this season.
yeah, we haven't tied
22
a game.
matches,
Okay.
0 ties.
So that shows me also
Talk
that
about black and
you
white.
need to be able. No, but the thing is, the losses have to turn into ties.
Yeah.
And
We live in a perfect. You're first, also first.
Yeah,
on the
we got
table, buddy.
Einstein over here.
You're also first on the table, so let's not
yes,
get too.
but head
pick
to
one.
head, that's gonna show your ability to read a game
agree.
and to create dominance.
You're
So
like 20 points ahead. It's like
in-
head to head could be better.
listen, in the Bologna game, Inter has the better team. So I expect Inter to be able to win, even though Italiano has always played Inter very tough and has his ways of doing things. But the big game would be either Milan or Napoli, where he lost to both games. I didn't even count Napoli. Napoli also killed Inter 3-1. So that's going to be a test for Kivu, first getting through. If he doesn't get through Bologna, there's going to be a lot of talking points there too.
The only team that I'm down on is Napoli. I think that they would be the most surprising team out of the four to win this, just because I feel like the team is already very short. I'm not sure how much Conte will put the value into this, rather than he would caring about trying to win in Serie A, and he knows he's got tough games coming up there. So I think out of all the teams, they would be the one that I'm not expecting to win. But if you tell me, of course, this is one of the very, very even. It's really, really close, and it should be 3 really good matches. Hopefully we get good games. Who else do we have to talk about? Do we miss?
Atalanta.
Lazio
Roma.
winning 9-11. That was amazing.
Oh, yeah, that was a weird
That was
game.
an amazing game. I
Second
watched
time in
it.
Serie A history.
I watched it and
a
I
team
said
with
to
9
myself-
men
Do you remember?
beats 11
Do you
men.
remember the other time?
No,
I don't remember.
no.
It was during the treble-winning season.
The treble? What treble?
Triplet.
Which,
Was it? I thought it was 2017.
Was it? No,
Yeah, I
no,
think
no.
so.
Mourinho was with Mourinho. Check stats.
What is
That-
it?
When
Stu.
Inter won versus 9 versus 11. Because
what if you're wrong then? What?
Oh
What
yeah,
if
you
you're
mentioned
wrong?
in the group,
Could be
right?
wrong.
What if you're wrong?
I just remember.
Double check.
I
Mike.
remember.
Double check.
Mourinho said the only way that you can beat us is with 8 players, something like that. And we won 2-0
versus
or
who?
something. Versus Milan.
Okay.
What do you got? ChatGPT?
So it was
AI.
it was a crazy game. It was a weird game. It was a very
What do you
strange
mean?
game.
2010.
Bravo.
It
They had
was
9
the-
men.
It was that the year of the triplete.
They had 9 men, and
It was
Milan
the
had
year-
11.
2010 was the triplete year,
That's
yes
right.
or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell you that.
Yeah, that we know. Atalanta is a good one. Mike,
Yeah, I
Lead
mean,
us.
whatever. Scamacca, the first goal, it was more of like a poacher's finish. He got a little back heel to it, but it was more of an instinct. The second goal he scored was I don't know if you guys saw the goals. The second goal, he like hit it downwards, hit his other full, went in. But at the end of the day, you want a striker. Even if he doesn't want to score, he scores. Everything he hits goes in. This is very necessary, especially. I have a stat here, Anto. I know it's your
Stat?
favorite. But under Juric and under Palladino, Scamacca was 2 different players. Under Juric, with 7 games, he had 1 goal. And now with Palladino, under 7 games, he had 5 goals. So it was, I'm not saying it's just based on the coach, but coach has a big
Don't forget
point
it
of
comes
it.
from a big win in Chelsea against Maresca. He
Oh.
did,
he's a different player. Honestly, I'm seeing Scamacca from the first moment. It's the way that he interprets the game, and I listened to what Palladino said about him, and he said he needs to breathe the goal. He said, I see a player that he wants to play, he wants to drop in the midfield, he wants to do a lot of stuff, but my strikers, they need to live and breathe scoring goals. And there's many strikers throughout the years that have had that one coach that it made it click to Scamacca. And that's always been, I've always had a little something against Scamacca because you could see the potential's there. You could see that the talent is phenomenal, but he doesn't always show it. And now it's one of the first times that I'm loving to watch Scamacca play.
And another thing, this is also obviously great for that Zuri, even though it's still some months away. Regardless, it's good to have some competition with Keane. Palladino post-match after the game, after the win, He said Scamacca had a high fever 2 hours before the match. I told him the best games are played when you have the flu.
MJ, baby.
Woo,
Flu game.
Flu game.
I
So
love
did
that.
Pulisic was coming with him
All leads lead
from
to
high fever,
Milan.
you know.
I like that.
Saturday Night
Palladino-
Live Fever, right? Saturday Night Fever. What was the movie?
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, it's from Brooklyn.
You said
That's
Saturday
right.
night.
What
Saturday
up,
Night
Mike?
Live.
I don't watch movies, you know me. It's
I-
another
but
time
listen,
they.
Palladino did it with Moise Keane, got him to score 25 goals. If he could do this with Scamacca, hopefully he keeps the form come March, as you mentioned.
Vlahovic is gonna send a
I'm
CV
telling
to
you,
him.
I'm telling you, I really like the way Scamacca is playing. And Palladino, I don't have to say anything more about him. What was the last topic? We had another Roma.
Yes.
Lazio.
Yes.
Roma. Getting the 1-0 against Como. We kind of talked about it a little bit. Went in and out. Mike, you watched the game.
Yeah, I saw the game. It was a bit back and forth. Como, I didn't just like Bologna. I feel like this week they didn't really show themselves. Roma, I think the bigger storyline. They got the win versus for Wesley. They also got a goal taken away from Cristante, I believe.
Yeah.
But Gasperini, he loves those signature 1-0 wins, and you got to do it. Especially because we're talking about strikers not scoring, injuries, Dybala, who knows what he's playing. But I do want to add about the big news around Roma is about Dybala. Gazzetta are reporting that they're not sure. It's not probable that they're going to keep him. And he's going to, as a free agent at the end of the day.
Oh, of course. But the thing is,
crazy.
as a free agent, then you have to consider giving him another 2-3 years at top dollar. So I think Roma has to come to a conclusion and say, hey, we're doing well without him.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, he's a player that I would love to keep, but at what cost?
Exactly.
And that's ultimately, I think, the decision has to be made. And I think the right decision. You have Sule that's looking phenomenal this year. You have, the team kind of moving on all cylinders with the Gasperini coach. And, just sometimes you have to make hard decisions. With Roma, I think we should also say, hey, they won this game 1-0, but they also coming from beating Celtic in the Europa League. 3-0.
3, yeah,
So,
they killed them.
Again,
Coach is gonna get fired.
Gasperini trying to manage everything. Yeah, coach
Hasn't worked out well for him.
Yeah.
He lost again,
3 losses. Yeah, he lost in the final. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
So
him.
you are saying that Dybala might leave, might be sold, might be
At the end of the year,
let
no.
go
Maybe not
on the
continue.
transfer market or the end of the year.
End of the year.
End of the year.
It's
I don't think
unlikely
January.
So what
they
if somebody comes with an offer? You think they're not going to entertain the offer in
said.
January?
I'm sure they'll
January.
entertain
6
it.
month contract.
Depends.
I think it's also going to be Dybala. He made a life choice by rejecting Saudi, if you remember, last summer. Last summer or the summer before? I think it was last summer.
Summer
Yeah.
before
Summer
because
before.
Roma.
And
was at
he
Roma.
decided to stay for his love for Rome. He's clearly very connected. But I think he also has to make a decision. There's money to be made elsewhere. Maybe he wants a different career. And I've always felt like I questioned how much Gasperini does love the profile of a Paulo Dybala in terms of the physicality that he wants in a game, the consistency to play week in and week out. And it feels like Roma's a young team that's really bought into everything that Gasperini wants, the high press, do exactly as you told. And even Gasperini's words have said, if I had better players, maybe they wouldn't do exactly what I say. So it'll be an interesting conversation to be had. And also for him, too. Do you want a reduced position to, if you take a reduced salary and then they say, all right, we're going to throw you in these moments, would you accept it? Or would you rather go to MLS?
How much is he making right now?
You looked it up, $6.5 million.
And I just want to mention, listen, I'm one of the biggest fans of Dybala, but at the end of the day, he has 5 starts this season only. So you're also paying for, if you divide of how many games he actually plays, it's difficult. Because a lot of times he's coming off the bench recovering from his previous injury.
I think so much can change from now to having the conversation in December, come to May. If they are in the Europa League, let's say they go far in Europa League, for example, and he comes in off the bench and scores a couple
Luxury.
big goals or in big moments in big games. If he provides you goals or quality in those moments, I think you could start to justify it and say, would you want to stay in a reduced role where you have the conversation? You say, listen, you're not going to be the guy that every week I'm calling you, but you're going to come in these moments. You're going to play this part. You don't have to tell me that you want to keep Dybala. For me, Dybala wants to stay. Roma wants to keep him. I'd be more than happy to take Dybala even coming in a reduced role, but he's not the center. I think he's not. He's not the only piece, which is a good thing. It means Roma's moving up beyond just being reliant on one player.
That's fair. I just remember when he signed for Roma, it was such a
Epic.
crazy.
Absolutely epic. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't think
Did we talk
missed
about
anything.
Milan or no?
Yes, we did.
Okay, just making sure.
Let's see how the Supercoppa goes between the two of you. Maybe we'll
by the
get.
way, we're gonna be around over here, Mike. Are we watching the games over here? Yes, no. Actually,
I'll
Thursday,
definitely send an email.
Game day decision.
Damn, Thursday.
I'll send out
Friday.
an email to see if
Make
there's
sure you
gonna
cancel
be.
your work.
Is your boss gonna let you come?
I might have to cancel work.
Is your boss gonna let you come
Who's my
Thursday,
boss? I don't
Friday,
have any boss.
Monday? You don't have a boss?
Okay, yeah, maybe.
She was the one that was telling you to clean the dishes. You don't remember? You don't remember your boss?
We got some more over there if you wanna get some practice
The
in.
toilets are next.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe.
Ciao,
Talk to you soon.
guys.
Ciao, ragazzi.